Save 10% when you buy 230 or more select James Hardie fiber cement siding panels. And there's more. Save 10% when you buy 9 or more select premium foam flooring underlayment. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Attention parents and guardians, get your children connected with a great public school. Come out on March 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for Kindergarten Enrollment Day, proudly sponsored by the Mind Trust. 25 great public schools will be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, March 16th. Come out, get a free school supply gift bag, and register for kindergarten. All participating schools are free, public, and open to any student who wants to enroll. Visit www.indiekindergarten.org to learn more and figure out which schools you want to check out. 2024 is here, and we are officially in primary season. Get registered and help make a difference. Remember, you cannot vote unless you are registered. If you need to find more information about how, when, and where to vote, please visit onevote2024.com. Urban One wants to thank you for registering to vote and to remind you about our state primary on Tuesday, May 7th. Urban One is committed to ensuring voters know of all the information they need to participate in every election. Log on to onevote2024.com.
WTOC AM, W236CR Indianapolis, the home for Indy's favorite gospel music, ministries, community discussions, and more. We are Praise AM 1310, 95.1 FM, Indy's inspiration station.
Get on up and stand as one. We need more unity in the community. Let's get on up, yeah, and stand as one.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Unity in the Community. I'm your host, Pastor James Jackson. I'm downtown Indianapolis, beautiful city of Indianapolis, capital city. Good afternoon, Indianapolis. Good afternoon, Central Indiana, and other places that are listening to and watching this show on today. Unity in the Community. We've got a great show for you on today, so you want to keep it locked and keep it on watch right here. AM 1310 and 95.1 Indy's Inspiration Station. The number that you're going to need to be connected to the show on today is 317-972-3008. Again, that's 317-972-3008 is the number you will need to be connected to the show on today, and I'm sure that you will want to be, and I certainly would like to have you on today. Also, be sure to tune in Monday through Friday, Community Connection with Tina Cosby, news you can use. Again, that's Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. with Tina Cosby on the Community Connection. We've got AJ on the controls here, and it's just going to be a great show. I want to pray for you as we move forward on this morning. So many of you all who are listening, we are in March. We're already almost halfway through the month. It seems like the year is just flying by. First quarter is just about over. It's International Women's Month. Yesterday was International Women's Day, and we have one of the greatest women that you're ever going to meet joining us in the studio on today. You probably know her without her even saying her name, but we're going to bring her up in just a few moments. But first, I want to pray for you. Father, we thank you for this opportunity that we have to share together on Unity in the Community. I thank you for all of our listeners. We thank you for this platform that we have to be able to reach out to our community and to foster some unity. Your word says we're to work for the unity of our community, for the peace of our community. And when our city has peace, then we will all have peace, and we so desire it. And we need your help. In Jesus' name, amen. Again, 317-972-3008, 317-972-3008 is the number to call. Again, that's 317-972-3008 so that you can join in the conversation. We're going to be talking about authenticity on this afternoon, being authentic. You've probably seen it on social media so many times, people posting, be authentic, authenticity, and all of that. There's a lot of stuff out there on social media, particularly there's a lot of podcasts on authenticity, how to be authentic. And there are so many people who are on social media and people perhaps who are not on social media, but you might know them in the workplace, at your church, in other places, who appear to be one way but lack authenticity. And it's so important. And sometimes we don't want to forsake our attachments, so we continue to be who we are really not. And one of the most stressful things you can ever do is to pretend to be somebody that you're not. But joining us today is a wonderful, wonderful woman, Katina Washington. And she's got a book out, Becoming Whole Journey to Authenticity. And it is a journey. And she's going to talk about it. And she's been on her own journey. And we have been able to see it. Many of you all have had a front row seat. So please be sure to share. Those of you who are watching on social media, we are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and I think that's all. YouTube, yeah. So we're streaming on about 4 or 5 different platforms and on the Praise Indie Facebook page. So you can see us all different kinds of ways. And do me a favor, please be sure to share this broadcast. So, Katina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you, thank
It's good to
you.
have you here today.
What a wonderful welcome.
You're welcome.
So cool, thank you. Feels good.
You're welcome. And thank you for the work that you have done and you are doing in our community. And you've been a blessing to us, to our ministry. So many different things that you have done. And I really appreciate you and I want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That always feels good, you know, to receive acknowledgement. There's always a thin line there, right? But I truly appreciate that. And also, I want to thank you for your contribution, to our city, to our businesses. I see you supporting a lot of women in business, which is my passion. So
Oh.
I was automatically drawn to that.
Yeah, I think it's important that we do that. And of course, I have, and our ministry has done that for a long time. And we got a lot of women in business. And we spotlight those businesses quite a bit. So thank you. Thank you for saying that. So you've been on a journey and a lot has changed just over the last few weeks with you.
Yeah.
Um, you were on a sabbatical and had some great outcomes. First of all, kind of talk about the efficacy of a sabbatical, what that was like, and
Oh,
why did you
wow.
do that?
Well, honestly, I always wanted to, you know, I always liked the idea of a sabbatical, but as far as having like the resources, and just a team to back you during that time, and I mean, there's just a lot of layers to it, right? I didn't have those things in place, but it got to a point where I couldn't take anymore mentally.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a lot. So I told my team, hey, the month of November, I've got to take off. I need everyone to step up to the plate, and do what you have to do so that the business can run without me. And I didn't go to any island or anything like that. I just stayed at home alone.
Mhm.
I turned both of my phones off, limited my contact with you people, and UPS, uh, eh, what is it, Federal Express guy, the mail guy, whatever. If it didn't require a signature, leave it on the porch and I'll get it, just to take that time to just relax and just rest my mind. Our mind goes so much,
Mhm.
and I don't think we realize how much our decisions that we make for ourselves are influenced by other people.
Yeah.
You know, just rushing to that meeting, you can't wake up, naturally knowing you have to be somewhere at a certain time, if that's not your thing. I
It's
know
like
some people,
extrinsic control. Yeah.
yes, people wake up And I wake up every day at 5 a.m. where that's not my story, So just to awaken naturally and, hear the furnace cut on and the church bell ring.
You mentioned that in your post that,
Yes,
that
like
you talked about your furnace and you were listening and
yes, it was just different. And, just taking time. Like when you have that time, it's like your shower is different, your bath is different, when you cook is different, just knowing you don't have to rush to something else or you're on that schedule for the day.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that. There's a pithy saying in our nation where people have said for years, "I'll rest when I die," meaning that work, 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 produce, 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 because
Mhm.
at some point you're going to die, and that's when you can rest. But that's certainly not your perspective.
No, that's not my and I've noticed now that I live a more intentional life and authentic life, and really own my feelings. My life is better.
Mhm.
I see things differently. My experiences are different. Because we just busy, 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 busy. And it's great to have money, but what happens when your health is in jeopardy because your body doesn't get rest? Then how do you enjoy your money?
Yeah. So you can enjoy life. Of course, we need money, but that is not the primary thing when it
Hmm.
comes to truly enjoying your life.
Absolutely.
So you've changed up things. We're
Hmm.
all familiar with the She event, and it's been wonderful over the years. And then I
Hmm.
saw a post on your Facebook page that made a change.
Yeah.
So what precipitated that?
I started to think about me, you know. Um, for the 10 years that the She event has been in existence, it was just all about how can I help other people,
Mhm.
and it's always going to be about how I can help other people, but I got to pull my own mask down first. And I noticed that a lot of the decisions I was making, they did help a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of people went home and I heard a lot of stories about, hey, I was able to pay my car off and I made my house payment, and I paid my rent and I bought all my kids' shoes. But then when I get home, I don't have anything to be happy about except that I've helped other people, and I still got to survive,
Mhm.
and events that are held of that magnitude take a lot of money, you know, and, people that don't understand business, for an example, they may say, hey, she has 150 vendors. That doesn't mean 150 vendors paid.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because of my passion for the community, if you really wanted to be part of this event and you're like, hey, Katina, you're going to be part of it, because we're in this together. But, you know, when it comes to, economically, and, it has to make sense, and I felt like I've done my time and I've helped a lot of people and
Yeah.
touched a lot of lives and changed a lot of lives. So now I'm just going through a season where I got to put my own mask down first.
And we'll talk more about that when we come
Mhm.
back from break here in just a little bit. But the She event I attended for several years once I found out about it,
Mhm.
and it was wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
we had a booth for the last couple of years too,
Mhm.
and we had some good results there. And it has just been wonderful. So, but I like the decision you made because in authenticity, it takes that to be able to make a change like that. And it made me think of Jerry Seinfeld. You're familiar with Seinfeld?
I am not, because I'm not a TV watcher, but I have heard.
You've heard
I
about
have.
Seinfeld?
I have heard of
That's
them.
one of my favorite shows. I still watch it today from time to
Okay.
time because it has to do with life, and a very very successful show. And I think when he ended it, he was
Mhm.
making like $1 million an episode, which was more than any sitcom
Right.
actor or anyone was making. And they wanted, I think it was NBC, and they wanted him to stay, and were
Mhm.
willing to pay him even more money.
Mhm.
And when he was interviewed about why he left the show, he said he wanted to leave it when it was doing well, and he didn't know what he was going to do afterwards. And I think a lot
Mhm.
of people don't leave something to their next because they don't know what they're going to do next.
Mhm.
But Jerry Seinfeld said, he didn't know what he was going to do. Of course, he probably had enough money to figure it out, to
Right.
take some time off to figure it out. So I wouldn't recommend anybody listening to quit your job Monday and go try to figure it out. But anyway, he and he was able just to walk away from it,
Mhm.
and then went on to do comedians in cars or something like that, and some other things that were also very, very successful. Do you think a lot of times people get stuck in their? We live in the now, but
Mhm.
there is a next.
Mhm.
But is authenticity with yourself, and being cognizant of your own worth and value, is a part of that, being able to detach or to move on?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Yeah, just self-discovery, and figuring things out. And another thing that I was taught by a stranger. I was in South Carolina actually, me and a friend of mine, and we met this couple that was there having like lunch there at the beach. And so we were talking to them. Well, my friend and his lady friend were going to the restroom together. So it was just me and him there talking. And I asked the question that, a lot of women ask, when do you guys get married? And he was like, well, he's like, we're not in a rush to get married or anything. He was like, right now we're just enjoying the moment.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times we're so worried about the future and what's going to happen, and we have to have things figured out all the time. We have to know the blueprint and how things are going. But I think a lot of times that we just live in the moment and enjoy. That's why he said, I wanted to leave the show while it's doing good.
Mhm.
You don't want to have to leave because it's doing bad.
Yeah,
You know
or
what
gets
I'm saying?
canceled.
Yeah, or it gets canceled, right? So I think we should just, practice enjoying the moment more and appreciating that. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. And a lot of people may not understand. A lot of people are disappointed. Oh, you're not doing the she event anymore. But I got to do this for me and what makes me feel good. And I don't think I can be better to other people until I'm first good to myself.
That's good. Can you say that again?
Yeah, I got to be good to myself first. They tell you when you're on a plane, like, put your own mask down first,
Mhm.
then go and attempt to help other people. And when we live our authentic lives, we are better people, and then like the people you're around will even enjoy you more if
Mhm.
they get it.
Yeah,
If they don't, it's okay.
yeah,
Because their time is up too, like the Seinfeld show.
yeah. So we forsake our own and authenticity often for attachments. Would that be because we don't want people to not like us? We
Be
don't want
mad at
be mad
us.
at us or say different things. Come up
Hmm.
with all different kind of narratives as to why you stop doing it,
Yeah.
which people do. But being authentic is, as you said, I think that's good. Taking care of yourself, and we have a lot of people out here that are not taking care of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say authenticity and vulnerability go hand in hand. So it will change your audience,
Oh,
you know.
vulnerability.
Yes, it will change your audience. Yeah, a lot. And those relationships are out here. We just got to get away from the ones we're not supposed to be in,
Mhm.
to open ourselves up to meet other people, have new experiences, and thrive is what I call it because I feel like a new person now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we want to find out about that in just a few moments. We got to take a quick break. Stay with us. We're joined by Katina Washington. She's still with the She event. It's just
Hmm.
operating in a different way, and she'll talk about how you can avail yourself to the many, many offerings that you got out there. Just some the
Hmm.
master's class is coming up,
Yes.
and space is
DC.
limited.
Yeah.
So you can find out how you can be a part of that too. We'll be back after this.
Let the One VIP Visa debit card make getting your tax refund simple and easy. It's free to get and no credit check. Enroll in direct deposit and get your refund back faster than waiting for a check in the mail. Hassle free and easy, just like it should be. Go to onevip.com and get your card today. The One VIP Visa prepaid card is issued by Stride Bank N.A., member FDIC, pursuant to a license from Visa USA, Inc. Use of the One VIP card is subject to terms and conditions.
Find furniture, kitchen appliances, flooring, and more at Chachadas Chuchin, your discount superstore. Find king-size beds for $850 and king-size mattresses $300. They have screen doors, external security doors, and interior doors for $120 each. Bathtubs and shower surrounds are all 15% off. Call Chachadas Chuchin at 317-964-1570. Then at 10202 Chachadas Chuchin.
It's Dr. Kyle here from Transformative Family Dentistry. Here at Transformative Family Dentistry, we're changing how people in Indianapolis feel about going to the dentist. It's not just our top-tier work, our latest technologies, and superstar staff that makes us great. We provide judgment-free, personalized care in a safe and comfortable space where your unique needs and care come first. Go to transformdentistry.com to learn more and book your first appointment. I'm Dr. Kyle Ratliff, and I cannot wait to help you transform your smile.
Quality care, remarkable people. Eskenazi Health is looking for dedicated professionals who have a passion for their community. Named as one of the best employers in the state by Forbes magazine. And the #1 health system in Indiana for community benefit by the Lown Institute. Eskenazi Health provides excellent benefits, competitive pay, and unwavering leadership support. Learn how a career at Eskenazi Health can benefit you by visiting eskenazihealth.edu/careers.
Embark on the ultimate cruise experience with unbeatable value. You get over 30 performances valued at over $9,000. Fantastic activities, daily seminars covering health, wealth, and business, a possible tax deduction, and much, much more. All for as little as $350 a day. And more importantly, you help keep kids in school at HBCUs. Priceless. It's the Time Joiner Foundation's Fantastic Voyage. Get your cabin now. Call 214-495-1953 to book before we sell out.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
All right, welcome back to Unity in the Community. It's a wonderful day here in Indianapolis. Overcast yet again, but that's the Midwest. The sun is out. We just are not getting the best of it. Anyway, temperatures will be rising in the days to come. So how about that, early spring? 317-972-3008. 317-972-3008 is the number that you need if you want to say hello to Katina, or if you have a question about authenticity and becoming whole. This is a book that you can purchase on Amazon. It may still be available there.
It is, and Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. You get it there. Is it an ebook yet? You know?
It is an ebook, yes, and I am working on the
audiobook.
Yeah,
you're gonna narrate yourself? That would be cool.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I was thinking of other people that could do it, but I guess I should do it.
Yeah, there's a couple of wonderful authors that I've listened to over the last couple of weeks, and they did it themselves.
Okay.
And it's even better, and more people will buy it because it's you.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you got a great reading voice too. So get the book, y'all. Let's help Katina, and you can get the book. I bought it a few weeks ago. It's a great book. Becoming Whole. It is a journey. And this particular book is the result of Katina Washington's third attempt at the task of penning a book. And that's okay. The truth is, she wasn't ready. Reflecting on her journey, she realized that her past failures had become crucial. They've become the yardstick against which she measured her current success. It's a testament to the belief that everything unfolds in its own time. That's profound.
Hmm.
Everything unfolds in its own time. Sounds like Romans 10, all things work together for good, and so on and so on. And in the way in which it is meant. Becoming Whole is a memoir in which lies a chronicle of pivotal moments in Katina's life, each playing a role in shaping the woman she is today. Every twist and turn was a necessary part of her journey to authenticity in who she is today. The positive and challenging events unfolded purposefully, each contributing to the story that has become this book. Through the experiences described in the book, Becoming Whole, Katina shares valuable lessons regarding the transformative power of purposeful living, how she learned to embrace life's many detours and blessings, the triumphs, setbacks, mistakes, rejections, and victories. We have them all. Katina extends an invitation for you to explore these pages with an open heart, recognizing that every encounter is a piece of a larger narrative. And what's interesting about the book, a lot of folks would perhaps like to have lunch with you or sit down and talk with you, and you certainly would not be able to do that for everybody who perhaps wants to. But when you read somebody's book or you listen to an audio book, you're fellowshipping with the mind of the author,
Yes.
and you have put yourself in these pages. What's your favorite chapter?
I would say the last chapter, the last beginning.
The last beginning.
Mm.
So Indianapolis is your home.
It is my home.
You grew up here.
Yes. Well, we considered it the Brightwood community, but
Brightwood.
there came a time when they were like, "No, if you're not on this side of Sherman, you're not part of Brightwood." We like, okay.
Mm.
But yeah, and I grew up near 29th and Forest Manor.
Over by Forest Manor High School.
Yeah, and Sherman, yes. And we actually live right next door to School 73.
Did you get to go to Forest Manor or were you bust out?
Bust out.
Isn't that something?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the only time I was ever inside of Forest Manor Middle School was when I did the she event there.
Hmm.
First time.
So it was in your neighborhood, but you
So
actually.
it's like him by her then,
Okay.
Yeah.
So what junior high did you end up going to?
Southport Middle.
Okay. Southport. They bust you all the way out to Southport.
Yes, I went to Homecroft Elementary,
Hmm.
Southport Middle. Yeah, it was so much going on. Like we were sent to school 68, then school 69, school 73.
Mm.
It was just, we were moved around a lot. Yeah, and then I ended up at Homecroft Elementary and then Southport Middle School and then Southport High School.
Okay. Now this book, you got it done during your sabbatical?
2 weeks.
It took you 2 weeks, so you were able to focus and you've been working towards it for 3 years.
Yeah, but at previously written, it was out the door.
Hmm.
Like none of it really mattered, you know. When I was home alone, and I did start seeing a hypnotherapist. I did just to work through my mental health
Hmm.
stuff. And what happened is he had me do this exercise where I set my younger self on my lap.
Hmm.
So I'm lying down on the couch and sitting my younger self on my lap, and he told me to give her advice. And that was my breaking point because it was like, it's like imaginary. You sitting this person on your lap, but when the person is so heavy, you feel heavy. And so I felt like I was sinking into the couch or something. But just start telling her that everything, when I talk about things working together for the greater narrative, like everything in my life I had to go through.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or I wouldn't be who I am today. So I just started writing. I took my daughter to see it seen by a doctor, a specialist about her dyslexia. And while they were like talking to her about it, I'm like, dang, that sounds like me. So I really do believe I'm dyslexic. And stuff like that. My publisher was amazing. And she helped me through, this whole process and just, having me get someone to just check the grammar and stuff like that so
Yeah.
we get it done. So it's cool. It's a cool process.
So part of authenticity is um, coming to the realization that therapy is okay, because a lot
Yes.
of people, that has been frowned on in our
Yes.
society. If you exhibit any kind of um, symptoms of not being okay,
Mhm.
then and if you get therapy, people label you, and but it's become. I think people are opening up to therapy more, and of
Yeah.
course we should have done this. We should have encouraged people in this way. I think many years ago, because
Mhm.
there's a biblical principle that says there's safety in the multitude of counselors.
Yeah.
So good counsel makes the community safer.
Good counsel makes the so I would say that in my family I'm the disruptor.
Hmm.
I noticed during my sabbatical that there was a hole in the wall of our family home, you know. And this is just, a story that I'm using, as a metaphor. But yeah, there was a hole in the wall, and my family put a big picture over the hole in the wall.
Okay.
And it was kept there and it was preserved for many years throughout generations where you don't disturb that hole in the wall, right?
Hmm.
And some of the older, ones, in our family, they have gone as far as to lean up against the picture, covering the hole in the wall because
Hmm.
they don't want you to disturb anything. Well, I'm that person that said, let's take the picture off and deal with the hole and see how we can fix this thing. And so, sometimes when you call your family to the carpet, let's talk about it. It's no, we don't want to talk about it. We want to keep that person with that mental issue in the room and we're going to shut the door and just let them, stay in there hollering
Hmm.
or whatever. We're not going to do anything. Then we're just going to leave it at that. And so, mental health is important, to just realize what's going on, and just think with a clear mind.
Absolutely. 317 972 3008. 317 972 3008. Katina, and what you're saying is so important. It's the things that we know need to be fixed, and we just cover it up,
Hmm.
and we just keep covering up, and covering up until at some point it all falls apart.
Hmm.
You talked about the advice that you gave the little girl who was yourself, and a
Hmm.
lot of what we are dealing with now is can be traced back to our childhood. What would you say to women? Of course, this is International Women's Month, and International Women's Weekend. What would you say to women who are listening, and how that they can start their journey? Because there's a lot of people who need to take this journey to becoming whole, and God wants us to become whole. But what are some of the first steps? I don't think a lot of people know how to do that, because you have your day-to-day responsibility, you have all these attachments, you have children, maybe you have a spouse, or you have significant people in your life, maybe you have a business, or so many different other things. What would you say to somebody how to start this journey?
I would definitely say start with spending time alone. Spending time alone. Um, it doesn't have to be a month sabbatical or even 2 weeks or a weekend. Just spend a day with yourself and start owning your feelings,
Hmm.
which will help you own your life.
Own your
Right?
feelings, own your life.
Own your
So,
feelings,
so do
own
you
your
think that's a
life.
challenge for a lot of people to spend time with themselves?
Absolutely, it is. I have met people who have never been to, dinner alone or taken a trip alone, you know, um, right in the vehicle alone. They just want to always be around people. And one thing that I learned about myself is I'm an introvert,
Hmm.
you know, so I do prefer to be alone. And I know it's a challenge for some people, who are really extroverted. And we've been taught that if you're an introvert, you're someone who's quiet and timid and
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, and just want to be alone and stuff like that. And it has to do with energy. You know, we take our energy from within where other people are, hyped up by other people, being around them. And that's not our case. We're like around people for a long period of time and we're like, okay, I need to go recharge. I need to be alone.
And when you say alone, Um, it also, am I, would I be accurate in saying not having electronic devices on,
Yep.
not having music playing in the background, just you?
Quiet time.
Now that's a challenge.
Disconnecting. Yeah.
Because you said, I mean, you're not going to hear the furnace. You're not going to
Yeah.
hear all these other sounds
Hmm.
when there's so many distractions. And that's the problem, I think, with a lot of us, the distractions. And we're
Hmm.
not comfortable. I think people are uncomfortable unless there is a distraction.
A lot of
That
times, yes.
distractions make us comfortable.
Hmm. You know, and it could stem from a lot of things. Some people feel better about their lives when they feel like they're, always helping other people, and sometimes they neglect to help themselves.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, we have to spend that time alone. To figure out that self discovery. What is it that we like? You know, what are we comfortable with? Even things that my mom taught me, I realized that's something I really don't like. Or like stress even has layers to it. So
Mhm.
instead of trying to save flour like my mom taught me when I was growing up, I walk past, I like, it costs $2. And I'm not trying to be bougie or nothing like that, but if it causes you stress to try to save it and do this and do that and pack it away and all of that, let's get some more.
Yeah. And forsaking our authenticity does lead to stress. And there's a lot of
Hmm.
stressors out there, which contributes. And a lot of doctors now are looking at our emotions and our mindset as contributing to some of these chronic ailments that we have, the onset of chronic ailments. We have a lot of stress. That's when we have these stressors, we have cortisol that's released into our bodies, and when it get too
Yeah.
much, it could lead to some problems,
Tension. And
tension
I
and
went to see a
inflammation and all of that.
chiropractor. Yeah, chiropractor told me all this tension, some stress.
So you got straightened out.
Got straightened out. Snap, crackle, and pop. Dr. Sarita.
Dr. Sarita. All right, Dr. Sarita, if you're listening, thank you. Um, so I want to pause here and have you give you an opportunity to tell people how they can avail themselves to your services.
Oh, absolutely. I am at KatinaWashington.com. That's one of those things like I didn't know what I was gonna do with it, but I had paid for the website like
Mhm.
years ago. Didn't know this moment was going to come, where I would focus more on myself.
Mhm.
So, KatinaWashington.com is where you can reach me. Also, you can reach me at our office at 317-600-3291. I do have a master class coming up in Washington, D.C. at the Martin Luther King Library there. I'm really
Mhm.
excited about that. And also, I have other events coming up soon at the Center Township Trustee. We have the Bosses in White, and we will have a lot of business resources there. But yeah, just reach out to me at our website. You can also reach me at the sheexperience.org website, which is our nonprofit.
Mhm. Well, congratulations to all the success and the work and the things that you're doing. Certainly, we'll miss the grand she event, but I champion the decision you made to make the change, to detach from that so that you can become more of who you are and who you are becoming.
Yes, thank you.
I was listening to a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and because YouTube has a lot of them,
Yeah.
which is a lot of them are really good. But there was a guy who was talking about how he went out into the jungle to write a book, and he was out there, and chimpanzees would visit his little bungalow every morning, and one took his headphones. And of course, he couldn't catch the chimpanzee, but he observed how the chimpanzee was going from branch to branch to branch with speed. And he made mention, which I remember this. He said, in order for that chimpanzee to propel itself forward, it had to let go of the last branch.
Yeah.
If it's reaching for the next one, it can't keep going forward with
Hmm.
speed unless it lets go of the one from behind. Do you think
Profound.
do you think do you think people have problems? We want that next branch to propel forward, but we have problems letting go of the last one.
Mm.
Why is that? Do you think?
I think we have this success. I think we have this anxiety when we are successful of letting go, of the things that we're used to, and I think we have this separation type of anxiety too, but it has to happen. I'm sure when your church was smaller, you probably had time to greet probably almost every member, but when you're dealing with things on that other side, and you have people texting you and calling you and emailing you and sending you messages through your family and then one member, you may talk to them and they completely drain you. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand how sometimes how you have to detach from things that you used to do, and how things have to change in order for you to, stay in good health, and propel to the next level. So I absolutely get that.
All right, we got Larry on the line. Larry, welcome to the program. Thanks for your patience and holding.
How you doing, Pastor Jackson,
Great. How are
and your
you?
guests? Yeah, just fine. My defense against everything that she's talking about. A long time ago, I figured out how to be satisfied with being poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after that, anything you get is a bonus. That keeps the anxiety away. That keeps the envy. It keeps the jealousy and everything away from your door when you learn to be poor and you get stuff without even trying to get it. I mean, you try to get it passively, but it just comes to you, and that eliminates all that other stuff and trying to help other people. I mean, I just wonder if we as human beings can even do that. I mean, we're impossible of being merciful. So I just think that people need to get control of themselves, and I think that would take a lot of pressure off of you, and you have a more happier life. I know that's worked for me for the last 50, 60 years, and I won't change the way I am. But I think that people need to stop getting caught up in the jaws and all the other stuff. And with the stuff online, you talk about podcasts, Pastor Jackson. There's a lot of good podcasts, and because of that, I don't see how radio can last as a platform for another 10 years. I mean, it may be disappearing because there's specialized content that's being created now and everything that's moving online. The only problem with that is there's people watching your every move online, and as soon as you develop a concept or a product, they're certainly going to come and take it away from you and take your customers. So we need to watch out for that too. But in the case of having stress and anxiety and homemade sin, hey, when you get used to living poor, then every day is a blessing.
All right, Larry. Thank you. Thank you for your call and comment. Appreciate that. The professionals call it minimalist. Larry calls it that, learning how to live poor. And I think we're hearing a lot more about that, Katina. People talking about how to learn to live with less. And a lot of people are not authentic. I've experienced this myself, where we get all of the designer stuff. So when people come into your presence and you see all of the designer, there's nothing wrong with designer things. A lot of designer stuff is made well. But sometimes we are forsaking our authenticity with these kinds of attachments. Would you agree with that, or
I
what do you think?
understand that.
You
Yeah,
understand?
I
You understand
understand.
where I'm going with that?
I
It just
do.
depends on where your mind is, I think.
I do. Yeah. Everyone's path is different.
Hmm.
You know, I respect and thank you too, Larry, for your call. Um, and I don't think that anyone should do anything other than what makes them feel good. And practicing principles of contentment can be different for different people. How we define that. And but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do.
As
I
long
understand
as the
that.
labels don't make you,
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
you're in good shape.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to impress people with the labels, then I think we're running into a problem.
Yeah, I think I think it means a lot more than just being a label to a lot of people.
Mhm.
You know, when you've grown up wearing bad shoes and then you get a pair of good shoes, it feels good. You know, it's rewarding for the hard work, you know, that you've put in and
Yeah.
things like that. So, you know, some people, you know, I like when it comes to replicas and stuff like that, I don't purchase replicas and stuff like that, but for various reasons, you know, because I'm an artist and I don't want anyone stealing my work, you know. But there are some people that will buy a replica just to have the name. That's not me.
That's not authentic.
No, it's not. And yeah, and that's not me. And there are some people, you know, I have seen business owners like save their money to purchase something that they've been wanting. And it's rewarding to them, you know.
Yeah, it depends on
It means
mindset.
more than a name. Yeah, definitely depends on the mindset.
All right, we got Charles coming on, and please be sure to go to. You can go to the Amazon
Yeah, and Barnes and
and
Noble.
Barnes and Noble
And you can walk into the
five
She
star
Experience.
and get it.
That
The
way you
book.
guys can see where we are downtown at 838 Delaware and check out the other shop owners in there as well. There's 9 other shop owners.
And they're good too. I've bought some stuff from in there. Some good stuff.
Mhm.
5 star rating on your book, and it's a great book. And I'm going to read something from the book here in just a moment. We're going to go to Charles first. Charles, welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing, Pastor?
Good.
Very good. I just want to be short and sweet with it. I want to give her her flowers, you know, today, and she sounds like she has a great journey that's going, and not to be discouraged by the AKA haters, as you will. Trials and tribulation is that of life itself. You know, that would make life itself life. Without one or the other, we wouldn't have it. And she kind of answered the question about as far as able to get the book and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just blessings. Keep striving and let go of the other branch too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Charles said, "Let go of the other branch." Yeah, that's
I
food for
thought
thought.
that. I thought that.
We live on that safety net. You know, that's
Yeah.
what we do. We live according to the safety net on what we used to and whatnot, and scared of the unknown. You know, but you can't move forward looking back.
Right.
So you're gonna lose some people in the process. You know, and as far as you basically able to check yourself, if you will, and be by yourself, and in order to see the scenery for it, well, what it is and not what you think it is. It's hard to see stuff when you're in the midst of it and when you're in the rim of it. But when you step back as though you did, that's why you see a lot for what it is and not for what you think it is.
All right, Charles, thank you for your call and comment. We do really appreciate it. We're almost at the top of the hour here. Katina, in the book, just at the beginning, you say, "I am worthy of good fortune. I attract peace, joy, abundance, health, and good company. I welcome success into my life." Sounds like an affirmation.
It is. I say it every morning. I walk over to the window and it might be quick because, you know, I'm just rushing, rushing, rushing. But yeah, I say that every morning. Um, yeah.
It's important to affirm these kind of things
Mm-hmm.
to yourself
I do.
before you can try to get other people to buy into, I think, what you're trying to do. You think?
Yeah, it's a form of pouring into my cup before I even leave home. You know, pouring into my own cup, and just setting the precedence for the day.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you before we run out of time. You said your favorite chapter was chapter 12, the last beginning. But I want to ask about chapter 6, the Judas kiss, page 45.
Mm-hmm.
What precipitated that particular chapter?
A lot.
That sounds like the.
Hey, we'll have to do a series.
Kind of give us a
Show.
flyover of the Judas kiss.
Yeah, and I think I am learning to deal with the Judas kiss better with success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just when I think I've had, the worst situation happen as far as a Judas kiss, there's just always something new, and it just comes with the territory. A lot of people want to walk in your shoes, but they don't want to deal with what you deal with to get there,
Mm-hmm.
or sustain, sustainability and things like that. So, you have to look at every situation and say, hey, what is my takeaway from this? Because I cannot think of one person who has done me wrong that I haven't learned a valuable lesson from.
Wow. You learned a lesson from people who
Absolutely.
did you wrong.
Absolutely.
There's a lesson in
Every single time.
317 972 3008. 317 972 3008. We're here with Katina Washington, downtown Indianapolis, and still doing great things, greater things to come. Got a master's class coming up in Washington, D.C. Is there still space?
There is still space. You can go to my website and find out information about that. And if you're not able to attend the class there in Washington, D.C., it's just as fun here. Right. So we will have another master class coming up soon here in Indy. In May, it is Atlanta, Georgia. So
In May, it's in Atlanta, Georgia. So
yes,
you're taking it on the road.
yes. I'm packing up and leaving my native land and going other places to make, just to expand our outreach and our reach, to meet new people, and just tell them about, what we're doing, with our new platform.
All right, new platform, new look, bigger smile.
Yeah.
So you're
Healthier,
healthier and
happier.
happy. Emotional
Yes.
health is everything.
It is. I mean, you get your mind right and everything, just
But that's major.
feels better.
You were leading that for 10 years.
Mhm.
And it reminds me of some folks that I know who have done something similar,
Mhm.
whether it's an organization and sometimes it's a relationship. Do you think it's harder when it comes to relationships?
Yeah. I am more of a relational person. So that has been something that has been a challenge for me,
To walk away from people?
to walk away from like transactional stuff,
Hmm.
because it's like, even if it was transactional, I wanted to try to make a relationship out of it, a partnership, or something like that. So just to, be able to know the difference, and how I need to handle things, in that moment has been a challenge for me. Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
So, and as we get ready to close this out, and I really do appreciate you coming to talk to our listening audience on this afternoon. And going back to what you were telling that little girl so long ago, and I hear a lot of people say, and I've said it myself, if I had to do all over again, and really, for people who are listening, if you're 40 something, if you're 50 something, and God gives you another 30 or 40 years, which is possible. It's very
Hmm.
possible. How would you like to live the next 30 or 40 years? And I think we
Hmm.
really, people don't think about that. I mean, these months, they go by so fast.
Hmm.
And before we know it, it's another year. And before we know it, it's another year. And 5, 10 years can get by really, really quick. Um, what are some of the things that you said to that little girl?
Um, I said to her, it's okay. You can make it through this. Just do this, this, and this, which is what I did, right? Because one day you are going to be the president of a nonprofit organization that is going to be very successful. It's going to help other women, and you are going to help your two daughters by them seeing your struggle. I don't believe that my daughter would have ever made it to Broadway had she not seen my struggles,
Hmm.
and just seeing the things that I went through, to show her how perseverance pays off.
Hmm.
My oldest daughter, she's in the top 5% of realtors, in Indiana.
Yeah.
And I believe that, her just seeing me, go through trials and tribulations and overcome, and not, appear as a victim, to appear victorious, because we made it through.
Hmm.
So yeah, absolutely.
When you first told them about your desire to go on sabbatical, what was their response?
Well, I think a lot of people didn't believe that I would do it, but I stayed true to it. I did. I was like, I'm not turning on my phone. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that.
How long did you go?
A month.
A month, 30 days.
Yeah, so I have plenty of text. I have texts now from November that I still haven't responded to. Now I'm trying to work through them. But yeah, it was very redeeming to not wake up in the morning and have that many texts. You know how it is when you wake up in the
Or
morning.
jump on social media and different
First
things like
thing in
that.
the morning, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, it was doing stuff for me. Like I celebrated myself.
Yeah. So most of our motivation is extrinsic versus intrinsic, unfortunately. And I think with your book, Becoming Whole, Journey to Authenticity, and of course this interview, and some of the things you said, and you're actually living this out, the more of us who will operate from that space of intrinsic motivation, it's going to be better for all of us. Instead of working from the outside in, we're working from the inside out.
Absolutely. And some people feel like, for an example, if they are helping a lot of other people, that they're not taking care of themselves, but it may be the way that it makes them feel, So they are. They're feeding their own soul as well.
Well, you made us all feel good today.
Thank you. And I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me this platform to tell my story myself.
You're welcome. And we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yes.
Because it's all about becoming whole, which is a process, it's a journey. And hopefully you all will go out and get the book, and then we can talk more about the book when we come back next time. We're out of time now. Any last thing you want to say?
And that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in.
KatinaWashington.com.
KatinaWashington.com.
Doesn't get any simpler than that.
Doesn't get any simpler than that. Yeah.
Godspeed on the master's class. I know it's going to be good. I'm going to get into one of those too, maybe the one in Atlanta or something like that.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That
I
would
would
be
love
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I would love that. It'll be on a rooftop if that's
rooftop.
If that helps sell the tickets. Yeah, on the rooftop.
All right, y'all. Until next time, from all of us here at Indy's Inspiration Station, AM 1310, 95.1 FM. Praise Indy. We like you. We love you. And you make us smile. Have a good weekend.
On this episode of Rich Homes Overpriced Interiors, we look at flooring. Should you update yours or send your kid to college? Don't break